No one is born with an empty self. The self comes filled with content, with meaning, with identity and integrity. But I think what happens to people is that in our institutional life, as we grow up in this society, that self often becomes emptied. Part of the work of the soul is to establish and remind us of our own identity and integrity. We simply need more settings in this society, safe spaces for that soulfulness in each of us to emerge and to make its claim on our lives. I said earlier, told earlier a little story about a doctor who, in one of these safe spaces, said, "The healthcare system I work in has me right on the edge of violating my Hippocratic oath 2 or 3 times a week." Well, part of what he was doing, even in his 40s, was getting in touch with the fact that there's a voice of truth within himself, an identity and integrity that is not wholly owned by the system he works in or by the profession to which he belongs. And as he allows and as we help him find that soulfulness, that truth claim, that voice of integrity, he's in a better position to pull himself and the profession he loves and the institution he loves back to safety.
How do we not succumb to this self-protective institutional logic?
Why is it that we keep allowing institutions to become the worst enemies of their own missions? Well, it's partly because we are wholly owned by the institutions we work in. We don't want to get crosswise with them because we feel that if we do, we will somehow lose our sense of worth and purpose. It's partly about losing our livelihood. It's partly about getting fired. But I think for many people, that's not really the root of the problem, not the real reason that they fail to stand up to and challenge the institutions in which they work. I think the deeper reason is that these institutions become our source of identity. I don't know who I am if I'm not being a doctor or being a teacher or writing a book. I have forgotten the fact that I have a being that comes before my doing, whatever my doing may be. So when people come to that place in life to stand firmly in their own soulful sense of being real, of being human, of being whole, then they're in a better position to pull the institution back to what Abraham Lincoln called the better angels of its